Hello.
Father?
Oh, Leanne, thank God. Where are you? Leanne! Leanne!
What? What's going on? What did she say?
She said was father.
What do you mean?
Mom, what happened? Is Leanne all right?
Leanne called, Mom. She screamed into the phone and the line went dead.
I didn't expect you back so soon.
Me neither, but our plans changed this morning.
Oh, hold it. Aren't you going to introduce your guests?
Of course, Mama. This is Henry Lang and his daughter, Angel.
Mr. Lang?
How do you do?
Aren't you the gentleman that my son works for in Chicago?
Yes, it is. I'm surprised to see you here this morning.
This is, Lily.
Oh, it's so nice to meet you. Holden told me so much about you.
This is my daughter, Iva.
Oh, hello.
Hello, how do you do?
Hi, nice
My eldest son, Seth.
Yes, Mr. Lang and I have already met. How are you?
Yes, but the farm is much lovelier in the morning sunlight.
Yes, that's my favorite time of day also. Usually we're really hard at work by now, but it's so hot. We took a little break. Please, won't you sit down? May I fix you some breakfast?
Well, that's very kind of you, but we already ate back home in Chicago.
Holden, I'm real surprised you didn't call ahead and say that Mr. Lang and Angel would be coming along.
Well, this visit was all my idea. I had some things I needed to discuss with you. Is there someplace we can talk privately?
It has not been easy to tell you that there's another woman in my life. Betsy, please, try to understand. Think back to how our relationship was the night before I left for Kansas. You were furious with me over my jealousy of Craig and Seth. I walked out of here with my mind racing a mile a minute. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know where to go. All I could think about was that I'd lost you for good. Because you were spending all your time with Seth. And then I met this other woman who was even feeling worse than I was. I didn't plan it. It just happened out of need and loneliness. Can you understand that?
Yeah, I can understand what it's like to feel needy and lonely. I've been there too, remember? Only I never figured jumping into bed with some perfect stranger was the solution.
I can assure you it never would have happened if she wasn't feeling more depressed than I was because the way her husband was treating her. And if I could have been with you like I wanted to be.
Wait, you went out to the farm that night to say goodbye to Emma, didn't you?
That's right, but she wasn't there.
No. No, she wasn't, but Meg was, wasn't she? That wasn't just some other woman you made love to that night. That was Meg, wasn't it?
The Emmy Award-winning As the World Turns. This portion brought to you today by Ivory, clean the way it ought to be, and by mountain-grown Folgers coffee. Folgers, the best part of waking up.
Meg, that's crazy. No, it was
Come on,
just
you came
some
here to
other
be
woman.
honest. It was Meg, wasn't it?
No, it was another woman.
Come on, Rod, I want to hear the truth now. Sure, it all makes sense. Perfect sense. This is why you and Meg have suddenly become such
no.
good friends. This is why when I go to your apartment, I find Meg there, and she denies ever having been there, which I know was a lie. I can see how uncomfortable the two of you are when you're in the same room together.
I tried to tell you when I came back after my trip.
I remember that day, too. I remember you came into the cabin and you saw Seth there with Danny and you jumped all the wrong, jealous conclusions. Well, how could you when you were sleeping with Meg at the same time?
You have to understand where my head is.
Oh, I know perfectly well where your head was at.
Oh.
Now, just answer me this. Was that the only night that you slept with cousin Meg?
That's not fair. She's not my real cousin.
Just answer the question.
No. No, it wasn't the only other
Just
time.
get the hell out of here.
I want to make you understand.
I don't want to understand anymore.
Meg begged me not to say anything to you.
Yeah, well, you should have listened to Meg the same way I listened to you the first night you seduced me.
No. Is that what you think? Well, then I'm not leaving here until you understand what really happened, okay?
What are you trying to do? Force me into something the same way you...
Angel, I'm very surprised to see you and your father here with Holden.
Well, we can talk right here.
Wouldn't you rather go to the hayloft or the pond?
No, this is fine.
Angel, you seem different.
I am. I'm not the same girl who was carried away by something neither one of us was ready for.
How can you say that, Angel? After all we've been through? What, Holden put these thoughts in your head? Or did he bring you out here just so he could embarrass me in front of my whole family?
No, I told you that coming here was my idea, and you must know it wasn't easy to talk my father into it.
No, I bet it wasn't. He hates my guts.
Caleb, why would my coming here embarrass you?
Angel, I didn't mean it like that.
I think you say a lot of things that you don't mean.
What'd you do? You just come out here to put me down?
No, of course not.
How did you convince your father to let you come out here and see me? I mean, the last time I talked to him, he said he'd kill me if I ever came near you again.
Well, he was half crazy after my abortion. He would have said anything to keep you away from me.
What are you saying, Angel? That he doesn't blame me anymore for what happened?
No, I don't think he'll ever forgive you. He still believes that you only said you loved me because you wanted my money and a position in the firm.
That's a lie, and you know it.
That's what I wanted to believe. All this time, I've clung to the belief that you really loved me. Because I gave you my innocence. I trusted you. But now... Well, I've grown up a lot since the last time I saw you. When you hid me in the hayloft because you were so ashamed of me.
I told you, Angel, I wasn't ashamed of you. I was just scared for my life,
But
okay?
if you really loved me, you wouldn't have let anything keep us apart.
Don't be ridiculous. You're starting to sound like a little romantic child again, okay?
No, I'm not. I've done a lot of thinking. And I just came here to ask you a question.
What?
Well, first, I want to tell you that no matter what your answer is, I don't blame you for what's happened between us. I need to hear the truth from you, even if it hurts me. Caleb, can you honestly say that you ever really loved me?
Tom, what did Detective Francis say when he told him the end call? Nothing I didn't know already.
All right, at least we know that Leanne is alive.
All I can hear is her screaming into the phone, Mom. I'm here. I can't do anything. She's helpless. I mean, she's got a lot of guts. If she's involved with criminals...
Oh, please, darling, please, let's not jump to conclusions. I'll get right.
Listen, Tom, she's gonna be all right. We're just gonna have to believe that, aren't we? And I wish you and Andy had told me sooner about Dune's pot smoking and the phone calls.
Just spoke to the Chicago PD. They picked up Fannon's ex-partner. He told them that Fannon was working with a guy named Denver.
And apparently Fannin and Denver are supposed to pick up a kilo of cocaine from some amateur here in Oakdale who called several times to arrange it.
That's the phone call that I've heard.
It was just all ties together with the call we got from Chicago PD saying that somebody was here trying to sell it for way below the going rate.
We're pretty sure that that was Dune because Denver told our source that the guy from Oakdale was going to leave with a girlfriend as cover.
I can't believe Dune was into drugs. This is a nightmare.
Tom, we were told that when Denver found out if Fannin was killed, he said he was going to take off after the 2 kids he held responsible.
Hey, whatever happened to who is it? I don't want to lose you.
I appreciate your concern, Dan, but who in the world could it possibly be but you on your way back from your lunch with Bernice and Frank?
I missed you the entire time I was gone.
I bet you forgot everyone and everything the moment you started playing with that grandson of yours.
You're right. I still wish that you had gone with me.
Well, it seemed very important to me that you have this last luncheon with Bernice and Frank without me. And anyway, I had to find the room for all these gifts I'm taking back to the family.
Well, aren't you curious? About what Bernice thought about you?
I was sure you would get around to telling me.
Well, Frank and Bernice liked you the second they laid their eyes on you.
Well, I'm glad, because I felt the same way. And that grandson of yours is a beautiful baby. He reminds me of Bob at that age. I brought that family photograph album to show Bernice, but there just never seemed to be quite the right time to do it.
Nancy, on my way over here, I came to the conclusion that we should go ahead with our original plans for a September wedding.
Well, Ben, I love you for saying that. But remember, before we left Oakdale, I said, for your sake, I would not go through with this wedding unless we had Bernice's blessing. I can see how she might feel that our marriage would be an affront to her mother's memory.
Nancy, Bernice and I were never as close as you are with your family.
That's exactly the reason I wouldn't want to jeopardize the relationship you have now. And if it means that all we can have is a very wonderful friendship, then I'll be grateful for that for the rest of my life.
She make me feel like one lucky guy.
Now, Lieutenant McCluskey, don't you think you'd better get back to your room and pack? We have a plane to catch.
Hey, I just wish that we had gotten what we came here for. That's...
Oh, we've had a lovely trip to Berlin. I'm awfully glad we came. And don't lose heart. Remember how long it took Bob to come around to our point of view? Maybe Bernice will change her mind when she comes to visit you at the holidays.
Don't forget.
Wer ist da?
It's Bernice. Won't you come in?
I couldn't let you leave without saying goodbye.
Has Rod Landry reported into work yet? Oh, I see. Well, I saw him earlier, and I think he may be late. So when he does arrive, will you just call the main office and let me know? Thank you very much.
Oh,
Hey, how'd it go?
hey, it actually went great. They gave me a gold star.
Oh, good for you. Hey, you look a little tired.
I am. I happen to have been up at Tom's all night long. His daughter, Leanne, and a friend disappeared somewhere in Chicago. The incident appears to be drug-related.
Oh, no. How awful.
Yeah.
God, Tom must be going crazy.
Well, it's the last thing he needs after everything he's been through with Margot. You all right?
Yeah, I guess so. My day started out fine, and then Rod showed up, and we had a pretty bad fight. I said some things that I really regret.
You want to talk about it?
No, it's a little too personal. There are a lot of people involved. I think it's over. I don't think I can ever feel the same way about him again. But I do wish I could apologize for what I said.
I'm sorry our fight got so out of hand.
Meg, it's water under the bridge, all right? But I'm never going to approve of your friendship with Rod. I know to you it may be very innocent, but to him I think it's something else, and that concerns me.
Let's just forget about it, okay?
No.
Ah, look what the cat dragged in. Susan has not left John's side ever since Lucinda left town. I know she would love to get him into bed. And frankly, I wouldn't mind seeing Lucinda humbled.
Meg.
Hello, Mother. Hello, John. Oh, hi. You want to have dinner with me tonight?
Well, sorry, we're going to an AA meeting together, and then we're going back to your mother's place for dinner.
You're welcome to join us.
Gee, that sounds like fun, but I can't make it. John, when are you going on vacation?
Hopefully tomorrow morning.
Going to see Lucinda in California, huh?
I don't think so. I have no intention.
See you later.
Emily, how nice to see you.
Tonio, I just had a breakfast with Michael Hobbs, and he is real interested in the firm, so I think we should get moving on it.
Good idea. Why don't we go to the office and get to work?
Okay?
Meg, I'll see you later.
See you later.
Goodbye, Mother, darling. Goodbye.
You absolutely sure that thing is over?
Yes, very.
Really?
I just wish you would dissolve her partnership with him. You know, the word around the hospital is you two are becoming quite an item.
You can talk.
Hey, what? What's wrong?
I should have listened to you, Meg. I told Betsy the truth about my having been with another woman.
Uh-huh.
And she turned on me and said things.
I told you Betsy wouldn't understand. There's some things women don't want to understand.
It gets worse. She figured it out. She knows it's you.
I told you not to say anything to Betsy. Did you try to deny it was me?
Of course I denied it. She knew I was lying. What was I going to say? She's right.
Well, did you explain to her that we didn't mean for it to happen? We were just both so hurt.
Yeah, I did. And then she asked me, did it happen more than once, Rod? What was I going to say?
You should have said no.
I should have said, I went there to be honest. I had to admit it.
What if she says something to Seth?
Oh, he would never forgive me.
He would probably come after you with a gun.
She's not the type of person to say anything to someone that's so personal. She's not.
I have to go talk to Betsy.
No, please.
If she says something to Emily will go straight to Tonio.
Listen, I'm begging you, okay?
I begged you. I begged you not to say anything to her, but you had to. You know, this is something I've got to do because I worked too hard to save my marriage.
Well, it's certainly a pleasure to meet the man that my Caleb worked for all this time. And now Holden's going to be working for you, my goodness.
Yes, I'm very glad.
Angel's very pretty. Is Angel her real name?
No, Angel is my favorite nickname. Her real name is Angelica, like her mother.
And your wife is in Chicago?
No. My wife died a short time ago.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Thank you. She and I were separated when Angel was very young, and she lived with her mother until she died.
Oh, dear. Holden! Seth, why don't you come and join us?
In a minute, Mama. We got some business to discuss.
Sure, been talking out there for an awfully long time.
Angel said it was real important that she see Caleb face to face. I just hope that he's honest with her.
Are you feeling fond of this Angel or something?
She's very sweet. Somebody's got to make up to her for all that Caleb did, if that's even possible.
Does this have something to do with that fight that you and Caleb got into?
Yeah, but I think that's up to Caleb to tell you and the rest of the family, not me.
All I hope is that Mr. Lang has not totally brainwashed you against our brother.
I wish that he did. Maybe he'd be easier to deal with.
Absolutely. Destroy all your...
Well, I must say that I am extremely impressed with Holden, and I'm not an easy man to impress.
Well, he is a very, very hard worker. He's very loyal.
Well, I'm sure he learned those good values from his mother.
Oh, thank you. Thank you like another.
Thank you very much.
Are your ears ringing?
Why?
Mr. Lang is over there singing your praises. What's wrong? It feels like something's bothering you.
I just can't seem to get away from the ugliness in this world.
Angel, it's not all black and white. Things are very, very complicated.
There's nothing complicated about the truth.
Look, I've done a lot of soul searching myself in the past couple of weeks. And I know that I'm not the thinker or brooder like my brothers, and I just want to have fun and excitement in my life.
I always liked that about you.
See, I've been very confused lately about us and about your father's threats about what he did to Ellie.
Well, I want you to know that it was Barkley who was responsible for that. When my father found out what happened, he was very ashamed.
What are you saying, that he wouldn't have followed through on those threats?
I don't know. He hates you as much as he loves me.
He doesn't love you. He's just obsessed with you. He just wants to keep you his prisoner so no guy can ever get near you.
No, that's what you always wanted me to believe, but I know that's not true now. Ever since Holden came to our house, Daddy has been so different. He's still cautious, but he's a lot more trusting.
Look, he's just doing that so he can rub it in my face.
You're wrong. He had every reason in the world to distrust Holden because he was your brother, but he's let us spend a lot of time together.
But you, of all people, are going to start to throw Holden in my face? I spent my whole life with Holden this and Holden that. I mean, everybody always would just say, you know, he's such a sweet little brother, isn't he?
Well, I didn't come here to talk about Holden. I came for an honest answer, and I won't leave until I have one. I guess I got my answer. Later, I left the hospital, and I called you to tell you that I'll never be able to have children of my own. I offered to run away with you anywhere you wanted to go and live with you as your wife. I was too naive to understand. I should have realized if you really loved me, you would have married me right then.
Angel, I was scared that you would eventually hate me. If you couldn't keep all those riches and stuff that you have.
Caleb, you don't believe that, and neither do I.
Angel, what do you want from me?
I want you to be honest with me and with yourself, and then maybe both of us will be free to really love someone one day. Just say it. You never really loved me, did you?
I never did love you. I never did.
This portion of As the World Turns has been brought to you today by Zest Deodorant Bar. Only Zest gets you zestfully clean. And by Ultra Pampers Plus. Helps lock wetness away from your baby. So even when he's wet, he's dry. We'll continue with part 2 of As the World Turns in just a moment. And now, part 2 of As the World Turns.
All right, you guys, let's go over those specifics on Dune again.
And don't leave anything out. Even the slightest detail may mean something.
Roy, we didn't leave anything out. I told you, Andy saw Dune smoking pot the night of my party at Snyder's, and I saw him smoking pot out here one night.
Why didn't you tell me this before when I questioned you?
Because I didn't have any proof, Hal. And plus, Leanne cares about Dune, and I didn't want to hurt her.
Paul, if you'd been honest in the first place, Leanne might not be in the jam she's in now.
Take it easy on them, Roy. They thought they were doing the right thing.
Andy?
I overheard part of a conversation that Dune was making at the yacht club, and it sounded to me like he was trying to sell something for a lot of money.
Look, I'm convinced that Dune is the guy that's this amateur dealer that Chicago police were telling us about.
It's been a long night, guys. How about some coffee?
No, I'll take one.
Look, I've been thinking, how big is a kilo of cocaine?
It's about the size of a brick. Why?
I'm afraid that I've been accomplice to this whole thing. I kept the cocaine.
What?
Well, you see, Dune asked me if I could give him a locker so he could keep some of his personal belongings. And so I said, well, whatever you have, I'll just put into this safe.
That must be the package you had with him at the farm in his knapsack.
But Dune said it was just an expensive camera.
I don't believe that he was dealing drugs under my... Yeah. Detective Francis, any word on my daughter?
No answer?
No. I'd like to try Tom's because I want Andy to know that I'm going to be home tomorrow.
Right. Denise, I'm really glad you came back to say goodbye to Nancy. I know that Nancy is happy about it, too.
Yes.
Well, after you left, Frank and I had a long talk.
2, 5, 9.
That's why I'm here. It really was wonderful to see you, Pop.
Hey.
I'm glad you got to know Frank a little better, too. Pop, if you don't mind, I'd like to, talk to Nancy alone.
Absolutely.
Oh, thank you. Tom's line is busy. I'll try again in a little while.
Nancy, I have some more packing to do, so why don't you two have a nice chat until I get back, okay?
Won't you sit down? I brought a photograph album of the family that I wanted to show to you, but there just never seemed to be quite the right time.
I'd love to see it.
This is my younger son, Bob, and his wife, Kim, and their daughter, Franny. And this is the whole family. It was taken at our golden wedding anniversary. That's a celebration I'll remember as long as I live.
Your husband was a very distinguished man.
Yes. He was a wonderful husband and father and grandfather. Your father and I both are very lucky that we have cherished memories of our marriages.
Wouldn't marrying my father detract from some of those memories?
I don't think so. At first, Bob felt the same way you do. He wondered if I was trying to find a replacement for his father. But Bernice, neither Dan nor I could replace what we had, even if we wanted to. What we would like to do is to be able to spend the rest of our time together because we really do enjoy each other. I honestly think that Chris would have liked Dan and would approve of our enjoying the years to come together.
Frank and I have a wonderful marriage.
I believe that. You seem truly happy together.
After lunch, he accused me of being selfish for wanting to deny my father the same happiness that we have. You see, Nancy, I loved my mother very much. And losing her was a terrible shock, especially because I live so far away.
Yes, I know that can make it doubly hard. My daughter Penny lives in London, you know. And I know for several reasons losing her father was much harder on her than it was on her brothers.
Dad and I have always had a communication problem. So when he called to tell me that he wanted to remarry, well, I have to admit, I didn't take it very well.
I hope our visit has helped.
It has. More than I realized. You know, after we said our goodbyes and I was watching my father walking away alone, I noticed that he didn't look as vibrant and happy as he was when he's with you. Seemed older and lonely. That's when I realized that maybe Frank was right. Maybe I was being selfish. The last thing that I want to do is deny my father more happiness. So, if it's okay with you, I think that Frank and I will skip our holiday vacation and we'll come for a late September wedding instead.
Only if you truly mean it.
I do. You know, Nancy, I've missed my mother so much. Maybe I can find a new one in you.
Well, we ate back in Chicago, but the coffee was delicious. We should be going now, honey.
Well, there's no need to rush.
But we appreciate your hospitality. Perhaps we can all come back some other time.
Yes, please feel free. Perhaps next time we'll have a little more time to talk.
I hope so. I'm sorry that I took up all of Caleb's time.
Where is he, Caleb?
He said he had some work to do out in the fields.
Well, we're very happy to have Caleb home here, I must say.
Yes. Holden, we've got our work cut out for us back in Chicago.
Whenever you're ready, Mr. Lang.
Oh, it's good to see you again, Mr. Lang.
Good to see you, Seth.
Holden, will you be coming back tonight?
Thank you.
I'm not sure. I'll call you. I'll let you know.
It was lovely meeting you, Lily. You too, Angel.
Honey?
Goodbye, Angel.
Bye.
Go down there for Mother.
Oh, watch. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Oh, it's awfully strange that Caleb didn't come back in.
I'll go find him.
Okay. Lord, Seth, so much tension in this house, you could cut it with a knife. What's this about you having met Mr. Lang before?
Mr. Lang and his son Barkley came by here one night when you were in Chicago with Ellie.
Why?
To see Caleb.
Oh, Caleb told me that there were very bad feelings between him and Mr. Lang, you know, and they parted company, but, is this girl that Caleb had been seeing so much in Chicago, was that Angel?
I honestly couldn't tell you any more about it, Mom. I couldn't. I guess so.
It's very strange. Caleb was he just drove off and he was crying. What's going on?
Yes, Tom. Yeah, well, I hope you hear some good news, and quick. I will. Thank you. Bye-bye.
John! Hi, have you talked to Lucinda lately?
Well, if you can call speaking on the phone for a couple of minutes talking, why?
Well, I was just wondering if she knew where Kirk was.
Well, I think he's home here, and
No.
after some big deal.
No, he's not, and his secretary doesn't even know where he is.
Oh, well, I don't know where he is. If I hear anything, I'll let you know.
All right, thank you.
Hi.
Oh,
Did you talk to Tom?
yes, I did on the telephone just now.
Gee, what an awful story. He must be going through hell.
Yeah, I can imagine. If that were Andrew, I would be pretty upset myself.
It's a shame Andy can't make it tonight, but you and I can still have dinner.
You know, maybe it would be a good idea if we were just to cancel our plans for this evening.
Why?
Oh, come on. I think you know why. We've known each other far too long to play games like this. I guess it's no secret I'm having a lot of trouble with Lucinda, and I really have to do some serious thinking, I think, while I'm on vacation. But you and I, we spend time alone together, and we may wind up doing something kind of foolish, and I wouldn't want that. I'm sorry, really.
Don't apologize, okay? What are friends for?
Hello, Eva.
Hello, Tonio.
Have you seen Meg?
No, I haven't, but I want to talk to you about something. I don't want you to upset my sister anymore like you did the other night. She's pregnant and should not be upset like that.
Iva, every couple has quarrels.
Well, that seemed like more than a little quarrel to me. Just don't do it anymore.
Excuse me, Susan, have you seen Meg?
Actually, I saw her this morning talking to her cousin Ron. And whatever he was saying to her was really upsetting her.
I asked Carl to leave at the Coast Clear. Figured I'd drop in and say hello.
I'm glad you did, because I was going to stop over later and ask you out for dinner.
Well, thank you very much. I would love that.
I'm going to do something a little bit different than the Mona Lisa. I hope you don't mind.
You make the offer, you make the reservations.
Terrific. I'll pick you up at 7:30. We'll come back to my house, and we'll have a drink on the terrace, and then we'll go from there.
Oh. You talk to Betsy?
I have not had a chance to do anything all day.
Things that busy around here?
Yeah, I think Tonio's starting to get a little nervous with you and Holden and Lucinda and Kirk on his heels.
And he'll do everything he can to change that.
Craig. Hypothetically, of course.
Oh, of course, of course.
What would happen to a company that lowered its rates for the new clients in order to undersell the competition?
Suicide, if the established clientele catches wind of it.
That's what I thought. But then I'm new to the business, and, you know, I don't know that much.
Sometimes I think that you know more than those that aren't.
Anyway, why did you ask about Betsy?
It seems that she had some kind of fight with Rod. It upset her a great deal. I thought maybe you could give her a call, cheer her up.
Well, it's one attraction I don't understand, but if my call will cheer her up, I'll do it. And as far as you're concerned, I'm looking forward to having dinner with you tonight and maybe even getting some free business advice.
Always there to lend a hand.
Hello, Betsy. I think I know why you're here, Meg, but I don't think we have anything to discuss.
You're wrong. Look, I'm sorry, but I spoke to Josh. I think you and I need to have a talk.
No, I think I've heard just about all I want to for one day.
Look, I know you were upset when you found out that Josh and I have been more than friends.
Yeah, you could say that, Meg. Look, I feel sorry for you when I found out about Tonio and Emily having their little affair, but I hardly think that going out and having one of your own was the answer.
I didn't make love to Josh to get even with Tonio. I was miserable and humiliated because your sister was sleeping with my husband. I found comfort in Josh's arms. We didn't mean for it to happen, but it did.
Oh, you sound proud of it.
I'm not proud of it, but I'm not ashamed of it either. You may not believe this right now, but Josh loves you very much. And when I saw how much he was hurting that night, it broke my heart.
I don't want to hear any more, Meg.
Well, one more thing. If Tonio ever found out that I knew he was having an affair with Emily, it would end my marriage. But if he ever found out that I was with Josh, I might even kill him. I know my husband. This is not an exaggeration. Now, you could end my marriage. But what happens to Josh is your responsibility. He said he had to tell you the truth today because he couldn't bear to keep it from you any longer. I begged him not to. Because there's some things that happen between two people that you can't make someone else understand no matter how hard you try.
I'd love to know what happened between Caleb and that Lang girl that made him drive off so upset.
Well, only Caleb knows for sure. We'll find out soon enough.
Well, I'm sure that Holden must know. It's probably why he brought the Langs here this morning.
Well, why don't we stop speculating about it? We'll find out soon enough. I'm sorry.
No, I'm sorry. I'm the one who should be apologizing to you. I'm always leaning on you when it comes to the other children's problems. I know you have enough problems of your own. Are you okay?
Yes, I'm fine. No, I was just hoping to go up to the Stewart cabin with Betsy, but she told me last night that Josh is going to go with her because her grandfather wants to see him again.
Well, I can see why that would disappoint you.
I have been so stupid. But my feelings get totally out of hand as far as Betsy is concerned. When I knew that she and Josh had a relationship going, even before I came along, I was just hoping that maybe it wasn't going to work out for them and that she and I could... Never mind.
Seth. Your feelings are all very natural. You know that. Whatever you do, you mustn't give up hope. Hope is what keeps us all going.
Caleb, where have you been? I've been so worried about you. I saw you drive off. You were all upset.
Well, don't waste your time worrying about me. I'm not worth it.
Is this Caleb Snyder I'm talking to? You don't really believe that.
Lily, for the first time in my life, I've taken a good look at myself. And you know what? I found that I'm just a worthless user.
You didn't feel that way before your talk with Angel this morning. Was that the girl you were telling me about?
I wasn't honest with you then. And I don't think I've ever been honest in my life until today.
Well, if you believe that. And I don't. It's never too late to make a fresh start, Caleb.
Thanks for trying.
Are you in love with her?
No. I tried to tell myself I was. I just ended up hurting both of us. And now I think she's turning to Holden to get everything that I couldn't give her.
Guys, I'm going to go down to the station and get this information firsthand.
Can I go with you, please,
No,
Tom?
stay here. I want you to be here in case Leanne calls. When she does, find out where she is.
Okay.
Tom, please call us and tell us what's going
You know
on.
I will. You guys ready? Yeah. Let's go.
Sweetheart, I know our prayers will be answered. Listen, I'll be here whenever you get back.
Thanks. So, it's been great having you here. See y'all.
Oh, gosh, seems so strange. Just yesterday, Tom, Leanne, June, and I were in one farm having a great time. You know, come to think of it, June has to use the phone there, too. Only they didn't have a phone or electricity.
Well, I guess he was trying to call up that creep, that Denver person, and let him know that he and Leanne were on the way.
Shannon, this farm, is it totally cut off from the outside world?
As cut off as you can be.
How far is it from here?
Oh, it's about halfway between here and Chicago and Route 37, about 45 minutes away.
You thinking what I'm thinking?
June knew that place was cut off. You might try and get back there?
You got it. I mean, where else would he think of to hide? You game?
We had a tough time.
No, come on. We'll just go up there, the two of us, and if we find anything, we'll let them know.
I hope we lost that car that followed us down Route 37. It's a good thing we drove off into the woods.
Let me call my father. He'll know how to help us.
Are you nuts? He's the DA. That's why I grabbed that phone away from you in that gas station.
I'm not going to forgive you for any of this.
Shut up. No, we're going to stay here until it's dark. I don't want the Ennuis to know we're here. But that was Denver following us, and he finds us. We're dead.
Stay tuned for Guiding Light. Next on most of these CBS stations. Fashions by Regina Porter. Join us tomorrow for As the World